Hi, good morning, and welcome to another edition of Positive Living from the Positive the Series by your host, me, Jerome Singletary. I'm coming to you this morning, and I'm not a happy camper, so I'm going to keep this real brief because you can probably see from behind me. There's some stairs behind me. Those are one of the goals. Although I don't even know how I'm going to walk those stairs when I can't even stand up at this moment. But I'm upstairs in the physical therapy room. But here's the deal. The shifts here at the hospital, they work on a 12-hour shift. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So between 7 and 7:20, that's usually the shift change portion of the day. So, I've always been warned that, you really want to try not to have much go on catastrophic during that time frame. However, catastrophe happens when it happens, and it cares not that it's 7:05 and the nurses are in the middle of a shift change. Well, case in point, this morning, I was awakened at 7:09 with the most excruciating pain. The hip was seizing and throbbing as it does, My toes atrophied in all the craziest contorted shapes. It kind of reminded me of, Lady Gaga does that little monster claw. Well, that's what my feet were doing. But let me tell you, I'm kind of laughing through it. It didn't feel funny at all. So I pushed, the pain button. I pushed the nurse's button, and nothing happened. And subsequent to that, I just sort of gave in to what I was feeling. I began to cry. I felt the throbs. I bellowed out with the throbs. Meanwhile, out in front of my door, my room door, I'm hearing people walking by, milling about, getting their day started. They're laughing, ha ha, hee hee, ha ha. You know, Now, even if those people, which I suspect most of them were not healthcare professionals themselves, they were probably maintenance workers, housekeeping staff, and the such. However, you work in a healthcare environment. So I know that even if I were the security guard walking down the hall, if I heard someone bellowing out in pain, and maybe the security guard isn't the best example because obviously, as a security guard, it would be incumbent upon me to look in and address that issue. But let's say I was the little handyman that brought in the floral arrangements on a weekly basis. If I heard someone bellowing out in pain, I check in. Even as a resident here, I have gone by and I've heard people bellowing out in pain or screaming out looking for someone, and I myself have stepped in to offer some assistance, if only a patient ear, a kind ear. I received nothing of the such. Nothing. At about 7:30, my door opened and in comes Dr. Bright. He is the medical doctor who is in charge of all of the patients while they reside at the transitional care unit facility. So he receives all the reports from the various and sundry departments from which we came through to have our various and sundry operations. So he is apprised, he knows what's going on and what to do to administer things. And his main job is to make sure that our stay here is pleasant, it is comfortable, that he makes certain that our meds are appropriately handled and administered, and most importantly, that our pain is managed successfully. That is his job. So he came in this morning. He wanted to know what was going on, how I was feeling. He was like, "Hey, did you have a good day?" And he could look at my face and he could tell I'd been crying. He said, "No, you didn't have a good night." I said, "No, sir, I did not." And He said, well, what are they doing about it? I said, I wouldn't know. You're the first person to come in. He said, well, it's 7:30. I said, exactly. I said, look at my light, my car light. It's still on. He said, yeah, it is. He said, that's unacceptable. So I spoke with him at great length. He gave me some suggestions, and I took them all. He told me to call down to the front desk of the main hospital and get in touch with their patient advocate department, which I did. So I reached out to Nikita, who's the patient advocate here, and so I'm waiting to hear back from her, and then we'll go from there where that's concerned. And then I called my aunt and I spoke to her, and collectively we decided that we would make some inroads into looking to see if we could transfer me to another facility, i.e., to the Northwest Hospital subacute fourth floor program. So I contacted them this morning and I left the messages with their case management staff. And then today, after I have my physical therapy, I'm going to contact my case management team in Baltimore County to see if they can run any interference as well. Because I'm getting the fuck up out of here if all I can help it, because this is just not working for me. It's just not. I'm not receiving the level of care, the quality of care, the standard of care that I am used to, that I deserve. And I understand that, when the shift changes, it might be difficult for someone to come in. But how difficult is it for somebody to push a button and say, hello, we got you, hold on a second. What is the problem? Because truthfully, the only thing that I was calling them for is some ice packs and baclofen, which is a muscle relaxer. That was it. It would have taken 30 seconds to fix my issue. But they wouldn't know that, and they still don't know that. And it's after 8 o'clock. So, given that, I'll leave you with that tidbit for today. I am now here in physical therapy. Chantal, the sweetheart that she is, I told her that this by no means bears an ill reflection upon her or her people, her staff, or the services that they provide up here in physical therapy. I've had a wonderful time up here, and I told her that whilst I reside here, I will continue to dial in and give 150% of myself to this process, because I would prefer, whether I leave here or not, to go to Northwest or Shady Brooks, doesn't matter. Whether I leave here or not to go to another facility, I would really much prefer to leave here walking, or at least being able to stand for a period of time. And that I can't do at this particular moment in time. And that's incredibly disconcerting. So, here's your boy. I'm just trying to get better. One day at a time, one step at a time, one tear at a time. It ain't easy. But I know that this too shall pass. It will get better. I am under construction after all. And construction takes time. And what do they say? Most places, like they say, oh, when you embark on building a house, they tell you, oh, it'll be a 6 to 8 month project. They tell you double that. Well, I'm not expecting to double my reconstructive process, but, an extension, I can understand. And I'm here for it. So I'm going to, as always, let you know that I too, as I say to you, am not going to be sorry. I am going to stay fierce. You do the same, and I want you, each and every one of you, within the sound of my voice, to remain positive, because I am going to remain firmly affixed in this love and light of positivity. And with that, I bid you a fond farewell for today. Make today a beautiful one. It's Thursday, and it's beautiful here, so I hope it's beautiful where you are. I love each and every one of you. I thank you so much for tuning in. Stay blessed. God bless each and every one of you. Take care.